If your sun or your core essence is the 37th gate, this is about friends and family. And what gets created here is actually a full channel, and that channel is the 3740, because the 3740 is actually a direct opposition in the wheel, and this creates a full channel. So if you have the cross of planning, immediately what that tells you is that you will have a full channel from the emotional intelligence over to the willpower. So if you have planning, bargains, or migration, all three of these will have the channel of community. And that's what this is about. So the right angle cross of planning. This is all about bargains, 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 bargains. So in the cross of the sleeping phoenix that we just walked through, we saw the establishment of those sexual bonds, those sexual strategies in order to alleviate that spirit, bring that spirit out, to find love through that sexual bonding, through that food. So the love that is found through sexual bonding then has to be formed completely into the bargain of the family, because that's what this is all about. This is family. This is friends. And because the community is the foundation upon which human beings actually succeed. So in the way that Earth and its consciousness operates, and its genetic code is strung out within that building of that family, that building of that community. So when we pull all of these themes, all of these crosses that we're going to talk about, all of this purpose that we're going to talk about, when we pull them together, there's actually a full genetic code that happens here. And that totality, or the parameter, the structure and the pattern out of which the consciousness actually operates on our family, or on our planet. So there is actually what we call a global orchestrated directory, and the times that we are in, this massive shift that is happening, we are moving out of this as a larger global scheme. We're moving out of the cross of planning. And as you can see, over the last 400 plus years, what has taken place is that there's been lots of communities built, lots of governments built, lots of large institutions built, and that overarching energy is actually breaking down. So what we learned here, what we learned over the last 400 years is about the bargain. So if this is your particular purpose, if you are incarnating through this whole planning thing, this really is about how can we create that bargain in a healthy way? How do we create these communities and these institutions so that everybody wins? And that really is what happens with the cross of planning. So how do you collect your wealth? If this is a part of who you are, well, it's going to be around friends. It's going to be around family. It's going to be around creating those communities, planning those communities, building up those particular communities. So possibly it could be real estate developers, or you create groups on Facebook, some kind of community organization and creation is going to happen there. Now we have the juxtaposition of bargains. So absolutely everything with these beings has everything to do with bargain, 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 bargain. And it'll be about their timing and their ability to progress with that bargain. They're going to be very fixed on every deal. Every deal. These people are the deal makers. And it's almost impossible to pull them off of that. Everything's a deal. So you ask them, can you help me move next weekend into my new home? Okay, yeah, for what? What am I getting back in this deal? They're very bargain oriented. Now we go over to the left angle cross of migration. So the planning, we built these communities, bargains are dealing in those communities. Now migration, now that we built that community, these are the people that go, okay, now that we built it, let's go to the next valley. Let's go to the next city. Let's go somewhere else and build a new community. They're constantly, they're moving. They're moving over there. They're moving over here. They plan to make these moves so that they can continue to build new communities. And really, the world is founded off of this. By migrating from one space to the other, bringing religion from one space to the other, bringing spirituality from one space to another. So they're constantly, they'll come in, they kind of take over one place, and then once they're finished with that, they move on and they tear everything up and they move on. And that's really what migration is all about. We migrate along the way. So just in my mind, I am from Canada. So the Canadian goose, the Canada goose, they migrate. They migrate from way, way up north here in Canada, and they migrate all the way down south, sometimes right into Mexico. And that migration, what they do is they stop along the way, they gather their community, and then they move on. And then they gather their community and they move on. That's really what migration really does. So when we look at the emotional system, and once that emotional system wakes up, an extraordinary amount of changes are going to take place in the way our consciousness and our awareness works. Because right now, that emotional intelligence has a motor connected to it. So it feels quite chaotic. Now, what's going to change is that eventually bargains are going to be established in a whole new way. Communities are going to be built in a whole new way based off of awareness, and having that base of awareness allows us to move from place to place based off an awareness field instead of based off of a motor driving us or moving us from place to place. So right now, migration, it is all about, I'm going to create a community here, then I'm going to move, create a community here. That's what it's all about. And how can you build wealth on that? Well, here's what I see. I see these people building a business that they are going to build up that community, sell it. Build up another community and business and sell it. It's not about homesteading, I guess. It's about migrating. So this migration of creating that community and moving forward. All right, until the next video. Have fun playing around with this. If this is you, have fun brainstorming and watching how your purpose is getting requested from you all the time.